what I'm about to show you is going to make your head explode. You know, even till this minute, my brain still can't believe that he actually said this, but he did. This is the Ukrainian foreign minister admitting on camera that Ukraine blew up the Crimea bridge. You know, with the ISIS-style truck bomb. No big deal. You know, terrorism is fine as long as NATO does it. So you remember those two Russians who have a YouTube channel? They tricked the British defense minister. They tricked George W. Bush into doing Zoom calls with them. They tricked the Ukrainian foreign minister, and look at what he said. Just watch.
Или в Белгороде что-то, то, ну, в приватном общении, насколько оно в Zoom может быть приватным, я вам скажу, что да, это мы. У европейцев sanctions fatigue в чистом виде. Их нужно заставлять. Вот. Им все сложнее обеспечивать поддержку санкций со стороны Венгрии. Венгрия становится все более агрессивной.
Look, man, don't you understand? Hungary is not playing ball, so we just had to blow up a fucking bridge, you know, and kill 3 civilians. It's just, that's the way it is, right? You got to do what you got to do. Sometimes a truck bomb is the answer. That's just how it is. I love how he's trying to like rationalize it. Listen, man, if someone else did that, you'd call it terrorism. Straight up terrorism. Okay? When someone drives a vehicle and blows a goddamn bridge up, it's terrorism. Okay? When they blow up a pipeline, it's terrorism. But, you know, when NATO does it, oh, we don't know. Now you know. That you heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Literally, straight from the horse's mouth. I don't know what other confirmation you need. And already, when it happened, I showed you Zelensky, the Ukrainian president. He filmed a video and he said that there's smoke. You know, there's lovely weather today, this Saturday, but there's smoke bellowing out of Crimea. He was basically making fun of the truck bomb. You know, that there are plumes of smoke coming out of the blast, and the destroyed bridge. So the Ukrainian SBU, the intelligence, they posted a statement. Everybody admitted it was them, but here you can see how in private how he speaks, right? I'll show you this video. This is the Russian President Putin, and he explains how they were able to carry out this attack.
Констатировалось, что скорее всего этот так называемый груз, точнее сказать, взрывчатка, взрывчатое вещество были отправлены морем из Одессы, но точно не установлено, с помощью зерновозов это сделано или нет. Это вопрос. Ответа на него пока нет. Но если гуманитарные коридоры для поставки зерна в беднейшие страны, хотя оно туда и не идет, но под этим предлогом была организована эта работа, выяснится, что гуманитарные коридоры используются для совершения террористических актов, то, конечно, это поставит под большой вопрос дальнейшее функционирование этого.
I just wanted to pause right there because this is a very important point about the grain corridor. Do you understand what he's hinting at? The grain corridor. I'm going to play it again.
Гуманитарные коридоры для поставки зерна в беднейшие страны, хотя оно туда и не идет, под этим предлогом была организована эта работа, выяснится, что гуманитарные коридоры используются для совершения террористических актов, то, конечно, это поставит под большой вопрос дальнейшее функционирование этого коридора.
So he's saying that the current Russian position is that they don't have the evidence yet, but basically the explosives, they were transferred, under... They were made to look like cargo suited for the grain corridor, and it went to Georgia and then Armenia, and then it was brought to Crimea, and that's how they did it. And why is this a problem? I'll tell you why it's a problem, because basically Ukraine, and I don't know who helped them, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the UK and the US, they excel at sabotage. If they've done this through the grain corridor, it's very bad, because the Russians are gonna say then, okay, no more grain. And then it goes back to what we were hearing for the last months. Oh, the Russians are so evil. They won't let the grain leave the ports. And they're starving people in Africa. And they're starving people in Yemen. And, you know, it's all the Russians' faults, of course. Well, look, man, I'm pretty sure that any country that would sign up for this kind of deal and then see you using the corridor to smuggle explosives is going to shut down the corridor. What do you think they're going to do? What do you think they're going to do? Any country would do that. And now... Let me show you. This is from Euronews. They say that the Kremlin is saying any extension or expansion of a deal allowing Ukrainian grain exports via the Black Sea would depend on the West easing sanctions. Russia says the impact of sanctions on logistics, payments, shipping, and insurance prevent it from exporting fertilizers and chemicals like ammonia, and that easing those restrictions was a key part of the deal brokered back in July by Turkey and the UN. UN officials met on Sunday, October 16th, with Russia's deputy foreign minister, and the deal, which is up for renewal next month, so in November, did allow for fertilizer exports from Russia, but Moscow has complained that these are still obstructed. So this is similar to what happened with Nord Stream, right? They said that, look, if you don't ease sanctions, we're cutting off the gas. And they waited like 6 months, but in the end they did it. And I've no doubt that they're, if they can prove that it was done via the grain corridor, they'll shut that down too. And that's not good. That is not good for anyone, because like I said, Ukraine is a major wheat exporter, so are the Russians, but Ukraine especially, right? Isn't their flag the Ukrainian flag, the blue is for the sky and the yellow is for the fields of wheat? It's in their flag even. They're a major wheat exporter, and it's going to be so easy for them to say, oh, look, Russia's being evil, they just want to starve the planet, because that's what Putin does. He wakes up wanting to destroy the planet, and they're not going to tell you that they actually abuse this humanitarian corridor. And it reminds me of Syria, right? Because in Syria, you constantly have this battle in the UN Security Council about where the UN and humanitarian aid is going to come from. The Russians who back the Syrian government say that, look, this is the Syrian government. It's in Damascus. And if you are bringing aid into Syria, it's got to go through the government in Damascus, because they're the government. And of course, the West, who want to topple the government, and who are occupying 1/3 of Syria, they say no. The aid has to come through the border crossing with Turkey. And again, remember, Turkey is a NATO member. And Turkey has been caught red-handed smuggling fighters, so foreign fighters, into Syria through the humanitarian corridors, smuggling weapons, smuggling oil out of Syria, right? Because that's good for them to get it cheap, even if it meant buying from ISIS or buying from whatever nut job had the oil fields that day. So there's so much evidence. There's so much evidence, ample evidence, overwhelming evidence that the humanitarian corridors in Syria were abused. They were meant for humanitarian aid. They were meant for UN to get supplies in and help civilians, and they were used and abused. And now you're seeing the same pattern again, and they're playing this game with the Russians. I don't think this is good. And I think that the Ukrainian foreign minister admitting that they blew up the Crimea bridge, wow. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Let me play the rest of the clip, okay?
Какие у них вообще есть дорожная карта? Вот что может сейчас есть?
Мы ждем новые санкции, мы будем бороться, я уверен, что они будут. И мы
какие по планам, как вы думаете?
Не, из больших санкций можно говорить только о газе, и я хочу еще о отключении от SWIFT новых российских банков. У нас есть один большой сектор российской экономики, который остался неприкасаемым. Это компания Росатом и атомная энергетика России. Я считаю, они тоже должны быть заведены под санкции. Вот. Ну и нужно очень серьезно смотреть на то, как функционирует российская военная индустрия, и продолжать там тоже применять санкции для того, чтобы обрезать им доступ к каким-либо оставшимся технологиям.
Но сами вы как думаете, это все реально? Это как сейчас ведет себя Европа? Что вот между нами, вот что вам говорит чисто Боррелл, когда вы видитесь один на один, или другие министры, они верят в вас или нет? Или...
Man, I find this so hilarious. These guys are Russian, but they're pretending to have an American accent, so the guy believes they're U.S. ambassador.
Они говорят, нет, вы не победите. Как они оценивают это все?
Они верят, у них...
They're talking about the EU foreign minister, Borrell, Joseph Borrell.
Раздвоение личности, потому что, с одной стороны, они видят, что Украина действительно может победить, но они не могут себе представить поражение России.
There you have it. And here's from the same guys who run this channel when they tricked George Bush into a call.
We are fighting for our independence.
Well, I'm very proud of you.
We are
And,
also pilots like you.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Oh man, that guy's such a clown. He's such a comedian, a dangerous one at that. In any case, damning evidence from the Ukrainian foreign minister. Ouch, ouch, ouch. You know, I thought the British defense minister, that call was the worst. This is way worse. You know, they should have pushed him about Nord Stream 2. Like, just to get it on tape. We know who did it. It's obviously the West. Obviously NATO blew up Nord Stream 2. But it would have been nice to have that confirmed too.